Welcome all to Eat, Drink and Explore with Cece. Today we are going to be making a Béchamel sauce. It is one of the French mother sauces out there. It's also a base sauce for the Italians. They call it salsa madre. The Greeks also use it, the Béchamel base as well, in their moussaka, their pasticcio, in through there. So as you can see, it's a quite versatile sauce. It is also a sauce that in North America, they tend to call it a white sauce as opposed to calling it a Béchamel, but it's exactly the same. So what is Béchamel? As I said, it's a classic white sauce that is made with butter and flour and milk, and it's one of the classic French sauces. And one of the things that we need to make sure is that we know how to make this, because it's the basis to making a really good baked macaroni and cheese, to add it to soufflés, for example, if you want. It's also a base of really good casseroles, so you don't have to open up a can and put that in instead of the Béchamel. So the ratios, what do we want to make sure? When you're making a Béchamel sauce, you have to have equal amounts of fat to equal amounts of flour. So it should literally be, so if you do 3 ounces of fat, you want to have 3 ounces of flour. So what I've done here is I'm going to make a big batch of the Béchamel, because the stuff freezes. You can store it in the fridge, not freeze, store it in the fridge for up to 5 days, and you can reuse it for another recipe you're doing later on during the week. And so what I have here is I have 6 tablespoons of butter, and I have 3.5 tablespoons of flour. And then I've got 2 cups of milk. You can make your Béchamel sauce as thin or as thick as you want. It's totally up to you. I found that this ratio works out well. It's not too thin or not too thick. I know some people have made literally 4 cups of water and made it very, very thin on it. So it's up to you on that. And we are, again, going to do the French version, so we're going to flavor it with some onion and some bay leaf. Usually you do onion and bay leaf and clove, a stick of clove. I personally don't like the clove flavor, so I leave that out. And through here, so let's get making this sauce. So what we're going to do is we're going to flavor the milk. So I'm just putting in the onion, a couple of bay leaves, and you want to simmer the milk. It's important that, you can do the Béchamel sauce with hot or cold milk. I prefer to use the warm milk. And the reason why I prefer to use the warm milk is that it's forgiving. It helps me control lumps. If I put it all in cold, I could get some lumps, and I have to whisk with this method. The best way is it's nice and warm, and I introduce it into the warm roux, and then from there I incorporate it a little bit at a time, and it thickens up from there. So just keep that at a simmer. We're just warming it up. Okay, so I have, you can put about 6 tablespoons of butter in here. You want to melt that down. Once that's melted, we're going to add in that 1/2 cup of flour. We're making the roux. And we should cook the flour at least for 2 minutes. You want to cook the flour down before you add the milk. And I've got the milk just coming up to temperature. Just want to do it not boiling, but lukewarm. It needs to be nice and hot. And then we'll keep stirring the butter and the flour and the milk until it thickens to become the white sauce. Okay, so we've got the butter melted, so we're just going to add in the flour. I'll do a little bit at a time. Just keep stirring and turn down the stove. I got it to about 6, and then just add that in. Cook that down. Now remember, cook it down for a couple of minutes, and then we'll add the milk to that. Perfect. I'm just going to slowly pour in the milk a little bit at a time. So you see how it's starting to thicken up like that? That's great. That's perfect. That's exactly what we want. And I'm putting in 4 cups of milk to get that nice thick bechamel sauce that we're looking for. So just render it down, just using a whisk. I find the whisk easier to move it. It's nice and thick, so I'll keep adding more milk. I used to all put it in at once, and I found it took a while for it to thicken. That was just my personal experience. So you guys tell me down in the comments below if this is sort of the technique you guys use as well, or if you're using something else. Love to learn from you guys as well. So very traditional white sauce, very French. See, it's starting to thicken beautifully. And then we'll just add some more. Great. And I'll turn. And just keep stirring till it thickens. Then once we get it to the right consistency that we want, nice and thick, what we're going to do is we're going to turn off the heat. So if we look at, see, it's starting to thicken up. Perfect. I'll just stir it a little bit more. And I'll try to whisk it vigorously so that I can dissolve more and more flour. Perfect. And I like using this type of whisk here, not the metal one, so I don't scratch the bottom of the pot. Simple balloon whisk. Okay, so that's starting to get the consistency that I like. I'm going to turn off the stove. And we're going to, so take it off the heat. Great. Woohoo! And I'm adding in spices. So I'm adding in some Himalayan salt. You can use kosher salt. I've got black pepper, and I've got a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. And the reason why you add nutmeg is it's a very traditional French spice that they used to do. They use it on when they're doing a cheese gratin, and it brings out the nuttiness in the cheese. So now that I made the bechamel sauce and I put that aside, I had it on the warm zone, keeping it warm. And if you find that it got a little too thick for you, you can always just add a splash of milk or cream and just add it a little at a time. And I'm lifting it off the stove. So that you guys can see that. And see the consistency of that. So I've made it a little bit more runnier.
Well, there you have it. Bechamel sauce, one of the 5 mother sauces. It's a very versatile sauce. You can use it in so many different recipes. You can thin it out. You can make it thicker. You can combine it with pastas. You can combine it with vegetables, with meats. It's totally up to you. You decide how you want to mix this in. So thank you so much for spending your time with me today. Greatly appreciate it. If you're watching my channel for the first time, welcome. If you're enjoying this content, please consider hitting the like button and the bell notification button or the subscribe button. We really need your help to grow our channel. If you have clicked one or all, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Greatly appreciated. This is how YouTube's algorithm finds us and helps promote us across the board to more enthusiasts like yourselves. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Ciao for now.